Import.
I drive a Benz in slow races with the old Seville's and the old Pacers, and the style is crisp, just like my lisp.
This is the most disappointingly slow car I have ever driven. It's one thing when you go into a car knowing that it's gonna be slow, like a Caprice, or a Camry, or a Dodge Aspen. But when a car has a kick-ass badge and sorta looks like that Cosworth thing, you're expecting it to be fast, so your hopes are all raised up. And then you get into it as, seriously, I was trying to pull out at an intersection in this thing, and I kid you not, I had full throttle start, and I dumped the clutch, and the wheels didn't even spin. You wanna know why? Well, let's look at the specs.
I know this is the cheap version. And then,
My foot's on the floor when I did that.
that's pretty much the power band of this car.
Foot's on the floor. Foot's on the floor. Because it's a European import, this 190E is rear-wheel drive, so you think it's good, but it's a 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine with a 4-speed manual transmission. The USDM version of this car had a 2.6-liter, and according to Luke, the clutch grabs anywhere and everywhere, but it doesn't want to. And he's not kidding about Grabby Douglas over here. The clutch grabs like an out-of-control frat guy who has one too many Bankers Club screwdrivers. And he's at the point where he knows he's playing grab-ass with his roommate's girlfriend, and he knows it's wrong, but he just doesn't care enough to remember anything they taught him in the court-ordered sensitivity classes. And the problems don't end there with the 190E. Because it's a European import, you're gonna have to hit up Europe for many of the underhood components. And also the passenger side mirror is smaller than the driver's side mirror. It's a square, whereas the driver's side is a rectangle, because asymmetry is a practical joke the Germans are playing on the rest of us. That said, there are some positives to the 190E. For one, there's the Mercedes-Benz brand. There's history in the name, and that transcends anything that's under the hood. It also has an understated look. It's beautiful in its observance of moderation. Nothing tacky here, nothing overloaded with the gaudy, chintzy garbage of 1980s excess. Yes, there's sort of a factory body kit look before body kits were a thing, and look, there is a spoiler in the back that's supposed to mean something. Well, it is rear-wheel drive, so yes, we can argue that that spoiler does belong there. This car is a businessman with a fresh haircut and a crisp suit. Mercedes-Benz 190E, sponsored by afternoon brandy and tax-deductible lunches. If I can't put my fist inside you and open my whole hand, we have nothing to discuss. Even if we're not crazy about the 190E, there's significance in what it offers because it represents what we've lost through the passage of time. You have a clean dash, you have basic gauges. The interior of the car is not trying to show off. I am a car for driving. I have an engine which moves the car. I have a gearbox which changes gear ratios. Unfortunately, honest regular cars are a minority these days. It's an ugly truth, but it's one we have to face. We're in the age of the crossover, the SUV, the hybrid. Simple frame designs aren't as popular as they used to be. I mean, for one, safety has marginalized them. And two, everybody is trying to be exceptional with their car designs. Every car is above average in a Lake Wobegon kind of way. And now, compact crossovers are replacing mid-sized sedans in the market. And that's with trucks and SUVs continuing to crowd the space that used to be occupied by the Civics, the Accords, and Camrys and Corollas of the world, and these simple 190Es. According to Car and Driver, the downward trend started in 2001, the first year when SUV and truck sales officially surpassed cars as the consumer standard, claiming 51% of sales that year. The report goes on to state that crossovers could end up accounting for 20% of the market by the year 2020. As we Americans get fatter, our cars need more ass-hauling space to accommodate us. As our families grow, we need more cargo room. As our egos grow, we need to sit taller and bigger, hulking, metallic oligarchies. Our vehicles have not only outgrown us, they've largely stopped mattering to the people who own them. They are coaches that get from point A to point B. They are appliances now. But the Mercedes-Benz 190E is a throwback to the days when a car was an intrinsic part of who you were. The car was a part of the family. Whether body on frame, or 2-box or 3-box design, or unibody, or what have you. Whether 3 pillars or 4. But enough about talking in generalities. Let's stop the narrative right here and go with the live audio feed.
It's like all the different languages, and then it's all like they do everything in bar.
Everybody would just strip naked and go black.
So in Europe, they actually have like this little parking thing right here. So depending on what side of the street you park on, you can turn it and just only one side. So if I turn it here, only this side running lights go on, and it uses a separate bulb, like a dimmer bulb. So at nighttime you park on the side, and the theory behind it is so that the other drivers can see you parked on the side of the road. So if you're parked in like an alley or anything like that, and then you can turn it this way, and then it'll turn on just this side.
Nice.
And I don't really know what this is. Yeah, it's like, I don't know if it's to like level the headlights or what it is. It's all like weird German stuff. It's just like a.
But it says miles per hour, but it's Euro import?
Right. So in Germany, because I checked that out, in Germany, they're like a mix between all the metric system and in miles per hour. So they actually rate it with horsepower instead of like kilowatts. I guess they mostly rate their engines by. So they'll actually like. On the original, that's another cool thing. Here, let me grab the keys real quick. So all of the service that has been done to this was, yeah, it has all the original paperwork. Like, oh, do you need a Schlangenschlagen key replacement? It's like,
And
can I do something?
nah, it's yelling at. Oh, it yells for a while for you to turn your seatbelt on.
Hey, buddy. So yeah, all the original maintenance and stuff. It's all in Deutschland.
Reverse is up.
So yeah, you pull it up and then
up and
bring it
over.
Yep. Which is kind of
Farrah's DeLorean was like that. Pull it up and then over. I see a little dial here called economy that's moving all over the place.
Yeah, and so
You can either have it black or red.
for a manual gearbox.
Yeah.
They decided, and this is the one thing that made me think this wasn't a German car. Whoever built it wasn't German, because you have a giant clock
Right.
that tells you what time it is. But you don't have an RPM gauge.
Yeah. I keep thinking it's a 5-speed, and I.
Do you want to? Yeah, I can turn the mirror.
But back to symbolism. Even if the 190E does act as a symbol of sorts, I mean, in America, Mercedes still carries weight, although it doesn't do it in the way it used to. But I mean, this was from an age when a Mercedes was a Mercedes. We still value it. We still have to approach the 190E as car reviewers. So how does it actually run? Oh, it's slow! I look so freaking cool, but I'm not going anywhere. But you know what? That's part of it. The 190E makes you look cool beyond any sort of hipster ironicism. You have taste. Oh God, I loved being me in this car. The 190E is a car that's fun to sit and be motionless. You will enjoy this car while sitting at a stoplight. And even though you basically end up with the same sort of pedestrian efficiency that hasn't been here since the early 90s, and by that I mean early 90s British porn, it's mostly just okay, like a nap on the Greyhound bus or a 15% discount at Pep Boys. Yeah, that's fine. Bit of history before we go. In 1986, Mike Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing, and that's fitting here. In its own day, the 190E was symbolic of the type of success that requires maintenance. It's a reminder that you can have happiness, you can have money, but neither is necessarily going to last. Not if you don't put in the work. There are limits to what you can accomplish with name value and past accomplishments alone.
You can dump out the clutch, but the wheels don't spin very much, or even at all. No, they don't. They're just kind of there. Oh no, no, regular, fancy or not, cars like these are not that odd. If the speed is lacking,